Hello, survivors. Whoa. Woohoo. Welcome to another one of my TED Talks. Fantastic Mr. Ghost, of course. And we're going to be talking about the intelligence build today. Oh my god. And it is so much fun. But early on, it takes a lot to get used to. So let's get started. Alrighty, folks, here I am. Let's stop screwing around and get right to it. We've got the intelligence build. We're nerds today. And to commemorate, I am not sponsored by Nerd Tats. So I found these signs and I just had to put it up here. Soft and chewy candy. Yum. He looks like a nerd, too. Yeah, he does. All right, so I got my usual setup here. We're going to go through all the fun stuff. All right, so let's get this weapon out here. I like this weapon. It's pretty cool. All right, intelligence. Let's do it. All right, we got skills. We always do the skills. All right, so one thing I want to bring up that annoys me about this game, and they need to address this. The Intellect build, you know, the armor that goes with it, they introduced this new for 1.0. I am on 1.1 right now, by the way. And the nerd armor, their nerdy armor is heavy armor. So why are they having a heavy armor, you know, underneath strength? Okay, they need to make these things skills. If you're going to be mixing and, you know, a heavy armor over here, and, you know, we got medium armor over there, and all this other stuff, it doesn't make sense now to have heavy armor locked under a completely different skill. And my biggest complaint is this attribute crap. You have to perk into this, and you're not even using it. If you're going to go all nerd, right? Then why do you need to put points into a strength attribute that you will never use to level up one lousy stat here? Fun Pimps, redo this crap. Add skills, and then perks are your specializations. All right, I'm done. No, I'm not. So let's go through these things. We got the Intellect attribute, of course. And, you know, you got to go through all these. So what these do, obviously, is it increases your head shot damage and dismemberment with the robotic, well, you got the stun batons and the robotic turrets. Now, I don't understand why they don't have batons in here, because that's under electrocutioner, I think. But you get the baton early on, and it sucks. Okay, the baton it's fun and all. You know, it's a blunt weapon, but the range is short. It's kind of slow, and it doesn't really do much to the enemies unless you put some mods in there or whatever. But I'm not a fan at all of the baton. Now the stun baton, there's some issues. It's playstyle stuff, so I know it's one of the most favorite weapons. It's like the most OP. Actually, the machete is the most OP in 7 Days to Die. I'll try and link all the other discussions I've had, all my other TED Talks. I did perception, strength, fortitude, agility, and now finally we're at intelligence. And I really do like the intelligence build, but it does have its drawbacks. So, all right, let's get into this here. So we have, for the batons, now it is electrocutioner. So it says if you're smart, but remember to point it away from you and pull the trigger. That's funny. So all batons deal 10% more damage. There you go. So it does cover the baton and the stun. Stun batons electrify victims 20% longer. Stamina costs are reduced by 8 and 15 for power attacks. Find more baton parts in loot. So this is usually the case for the second one here. It just increases everything, right? Number 3 is when you start getting crazy, you get some cool stuff. So it's always number 3 is the sweet spot. This is when you're starting to feel like, oh yeah, I can handle this game now. And they add one cool kind of perk. So here we have killing blows grant 10 stamina. So that is where you start to feel like, okay, you can just go all ham on the zombies. Of course, you got a swarm of them, you got a problem, but the stun baton is a really good crowd control when you have the repulsor mod, and we'll get into that too. So we got high voltage, so you got 20 stamina now that you get back with killing blows, and then 30. So it goes up from there. So once you get that third, then it's 4 and 5 is like, oh yeah, you get better and better. So that's really nice. Robotics Inventor. Now, let me tell you, if you're doing an intelligence build or not, Robotics Adventure is so damn OP. It's ridiculous. And I proved that in a couple videos I did prior where I had a horde base with 2 robotic turrets. And I had them right where the zombies were coming up on a ladder, which I'll show you, and also up a ramp. So this is a variation of that. It's a little simpler here. Got my nerd tats over here. All you got to do is put a robotic sledge right here, and you could basically do an AFK base. and you can mod robotic sledges, which is ridiculous. So yeah, you think Sneak is OP, and they made adjustments to it to make it where the zombies are more sensitive to you. Although you still can get your, you can still, stealth is still OP. They just made it a little, you have to change your playstyle a little bit, but it's still OP. The robotic sledges are OP. So, but don't tell them I said that. Let's go into our stats here. So the reason I wanted to talk about it is because when I see this, the robotic inventor, oh my God, this thing is so much fun. So we have here 10% more damage, 30% faster fire rate, and reload an extra 10 rounds. So we're talking about the robotic sledge and the robotic turret now, right? Robot's active range increased from 10 to 14 meters. So it's 10 normally. It increases by 4. So this is nice because you could set your robotic sledges further away from you. And also, like if you're running around and you got you're kiting zombies, it's nice because they stay active longer. And they're very helpful for mining. They're very helpful for when you're doing the dig missions with the traders. And then you can deploy multiple robots, but only the closest will be active. So yeah, you can do one, in front and then one in the back. And if you're moving around, you'll always have some kind of coverage, which is nice. And then you got some rate of fire, more damage, and more rounds. And robotic active range is 15, so you increase by 1 meter there. Faster fire rate for this one. Then we have extra rounds and 16 meters. You must be from year 2077. That's not going to age well, fun pimps. We got weapons, deal 40% more damage, 150% faster fire rate, which is very important when you start getting up in the horde days. Reload extra 40 rounds. Robotic weapons reload 10% faster now. There you go. So that's now number 3. It's just notice how number 4 they're kind of adding a nice little perk in. So they kind of skipped over because you're getting so much good stuff here. They got to spread it out. Now then we got a 17 meter active range. Number 5 is 2 deployed robots. Yes, 50 extra rounds and 18 meter range. So you're so OP at this point. It's redonkulous. It's awesome. And then we got the calculated attack here. Attack speed with batons, 10% faster, 17, and then 25. Now, the influence perks. So I want to say right now, charismatic nature, I don't think this isn't really a good one, even in multiplayer, because if you die and you're the one doing this, the buffs are gone. So you're better off putting these perks here. Instead of putting 5 perks in this, even in multiplayer, go to strength, because you're going to need that heavy armor perks. So don't even bother with charismatic nature. Well, obviously in single player, it's a no-brainer. You don't do it. But in multiplayer, I wouldn't bother with it. Just, you're better off with heavy armor, like I said. Now, better barter, it's okay. 5% better deal buying and selling merchandise with traders. I'd say just put perks in this last. There's other better perks. I have a video about scrapping for fun and profit. I'll try and link that in the description box and up top as well, the top right. And you can wrench cars all day, make mini bike handlebars, which are the easiest and most profitable for the amount of time and resources. You can sell like crazy. You don't need better barter. It helps, but like I said, there's other perks I'd rather have, like sneak and, from the shadows, maybe some perception, all that. So yeah, there's definitely better perks than better barter. But this one's 10%, 15, then we get 20%, and then 25. Yeah, so it's just a better. And by the time you get to endgame, do you really care about buying stuff? You're pretty much able to do everything you need to do without a trader at this point. Now, Daring Adventure is a way different story. If you are trying to get better weapons than you can craft earlier, this is the way to go right here. Even 1 point in looter, you start to increase the loot table by 1. So if you're able to craft, say, a level 2, you might be able to find a level 3 or higher. In loot, potentially, I think, well, let's see, it's barter. No, it's not in loot. It's just the traders. So early on, this can be a game changer for you. And especially if you want to go with the second one. Even better trader items and get 10% more dukes. So that equates to your missions that you're running. So 10% adds up over time. Well, even 5 does too. So if you're doing an intellect build, get your attack up and running. You might have to dump a couple points in strength. You get a freebie on heavy armor. You already have a point in strength, so you can just throw a point in heavy armor right away, just one. But when I start out, I don't do that. It's later. So carrying on, yeah, I would say Daring Adventure 1 point is good for the beginning game. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and throw it in there. Depends on your difficulty level you're playing on. Now the big daddy here, Physician. You might think Physician isn't any good, but there's a perk here that will make the stun baton a beast. So it's great that we have these critical hit things, So treated critical injuries heal 50% faster. Medical healing items heal 20% more health over time. Those are good, but it's not a reason to take this, in my opinion. However, the sprints and cast cure sprains instantly. Now that's kind of nice. So when you're ready to take this, I would say this is between Daring Adventure and Physician. I would take Daring Adventure first, then Physician, right? Because you want to get the better weapons and armor if you're going to go the route of scrap, getting money and buying from the trader instead of crafting for a while. Now you cannot get level 6 items or quality 6 items from the tier 6s or airdrops anymore. So you do have to craft. So that's why, Daring Adventure, is helpful to get you up to that point. But once you get to tier 5, you start having to craft if you want that good stuff. So the next one here is just increasing the buffs here. And now you can craft items in the chemistry station faster. So that's kind of nice. I've never had to craft medical items. In fact, these here challenges, I don't even bother with the challenges for the medical stuff. I just kind of let it roll, Now we got Surgeon, cast cure broken limbs instantly. And we got some increases, obviously. The injuries heal faster, 50%. Medical healing items heal 100% more or health over time. 500% more XP from using bandages. I don't know why that's even a thing. Okay, Then we got rank 4. And we have gain additional 20% chance to dismember enemies with batons. So very interesting how they hid a baton perk, a buff within the Physician, because you know how to beat the zombies up, right? You're knowledgeable of the anatomy of a zombie. And then we have 40% buff, faster item crafting in the chemistry station. And here is the real banger. Each blow landed with a stun baton has a 10% chance for instant death. Now that's really nice, especially when when you're in a bind and you're like, oh no, I'm getting swarmed by zombies. So that's really cool. Now, advanced engineering. I take a point in this when you complete all the challenges at the beginning, because you need those workbenches. You need a forge, you need a dew collector, you need the workbench, right, in order to progress the game, or else you're going to fall behind the zombies. So no matter what character build I'm doing, 1 point goes into advanced engineering to increase the drop rate on those magazines, the Forged Ahead magazines. So now the big part about advanced engineering is what you get from it as you go. So we have 15% XP from electrical trap kills. Items craft 20% faster at the forge and craft glue cheaper. That's a huge one right there. That is really big. The electrical trap kills, because you could set up an AFK base with the sledgehammers. The zombies get zapped. You slow them down. Just let your base run. When they get to your sledge turrets, they're popping them off and they come back up. And then they get zapped again. And you can put a rad remover in your sledge turrets. So the radiateds don't generate their health until they get back to the electrical trap. So pretty fun stuff. And then we got a 30% chance, or a 30% XP gain from electrical trap kills. And then the faster, now it's faster workbenches and cement mixers. Here we have 45% XP from electrical trap kills. Now that includes those blender, the blade traps too. But I don't know, it might be from the turrets too, the shotgun and SMGs. So, but I don't know about that 100%. I'm pretty sure it does though, because they're electrical, right? And then all forged recipes cost 10% less. Crafting forged steel and electrical devices cost 15% less. That is pretty good, especially when you're doing, when you're going for the long, if you're just going to play till you get all the trader missions done, you start over again because you want to do some different stuff, or it's fun to start over, right? Building the characters where the fun is. But here is why you would, if you're going for a long play, this is good to have that percentage, the cheaper crafting stuff. Now we got the inventor. You are the Da Vinci of the apocalypse. 60% XP from electrical trap kills. And then we got the forge recipe crafting. Let's see, forge recipes cost 50% less. Crafting forged steel and electrical devices cost 25% less. And then advanced engineering. This is the final perk. And we now have 75% XP gain from electrical trap kills. They're not going to give you, 100% because they're just, they're giving points away. That's not how it should be. All forged recipes cost 20% less. Crafting forged steel and electrical devices cost 35% less. So there you go. Now, you definitely want to go all the way with this, especially if you're going to have an electrical trap base. And when you get up there in the zombie numbers, let's say you're playing 64 zombies, you need these to manage those zombies because they are just going to maul you. Now, Grease Monkey. I don't bother with this at all. And, there's some nice things here, but I mean, if you're losing your vehicles, then maybe if you're, kind of silly like that and you lose your stuff or it's getting damaged because you got a crazy mod that you installed or whatever, that your vehicles constantly get destroyed and lost or whatever, there's no reason to put any points into this perk. And every trader gives you a bundle, and eventually you're going to find these books to craft the vehicles anyway. The vehicle books are everywhere. And of course, look at how many cars there are in the game. So I've never had a problem, and I've done a bunch of playthroughs with, in 7 Days That I Hear, once on the channel, but I've done a lot of test playthroughs so I can get knowledgeable of the game. And this is a complete waste of time, waste of perks. Yeah, like I said, you're better off going into strength and getting that heavy armor up. Maybe a couple of points somewhere, elsewhere. The fortitude, put some points into there so you're not hungry all the time. But yeah, don't even bother with this crap. Lock picking, don't even bother. Don't do it, man. Because how many locks are out there really in the game? And you can craft them like crazy. Once you get your iron under your belt, get some mechanical parts, you're out there scrapping, you're doing all this crazy stuff, right? Okay, so that about does it on there. Let's take a look at the batons. So there's only 2 batons. This one here, the pipe, I should have put this up here, that's fine. So you start off with the pipe, 12. It is crap. Compared to the 18. It's terrible. It's terrible. In the beginning game, I'd rather have a freaking club a wooden club than this piece of crap. Now, the problem is, though, when you can perk, when you do perk into the batons, 1, 2, 3, all that, and you start perking into the intellect, yeah, these get better because you're stacking the stuff on top of it. But, I mean, you're going to do that with all the weapons. It's like I said, you might as well just go with a freaking club or a baseball bat at this point. Now, the stun baton, 20. And we go all the way up to 29.7. Now, that's not the draw here. The draw is the mods and what you can do with the zombies. And then there's the perks that get added on top of that, right? So now let's talk about the sledge here. We got the melee damage here, 11.5. Go all the way up to a level 6. We got 19.9. But you can mod these. As you can see down below, and in my inventory here, I have some mods. So let's go ahead and grab that level 6. Here are the mods, by the way, some of them. I've got all of them in my inventory here. So now we got the robotic turret, range damage 11.9, but we get up to the level 6 and it's 20.5. You can mod this. I got these nerd tats to remind myself here. Now, when it comes to the robotic turret, you have the robotic turret ammo, you have AP robotic turret ammo, and you have shells, robotic turret shells. I've never crafted either one of these because I just never got around to it. The robotic turret ammo does pretty good. It stun locks the zombies, and it makes it for a really good time to whack them in the face. You get to take control of the situation, even with the robotic turret ammo. It's really nice. And then we've got these robotic drones, which I think they fall under Intellect. I didn't see anything there. These are much better to find now, and I've gotten really lucky. Once you get out of the pine forest, I think you can start to find them. It is later in the game, but now a lot of folks don't like it because it flies around, gets in your way and stuff. But these things are actually really helpful. I really enjoy having this drone in my possession. It's really fun. And here's the mods for that. Oh, and by the way, the baton parts. So when you take the perk in Electrocutioner, you'll start to find these. Save them because you need them for the stun baton. Level 1 through 6. So the more you have, the better. And if you're playing on very difficult settings, obviously you want to build these. You're pretty much going to build these in succession because you need that extra damage. Also, by putting points in Electrocutioner, you're going to increase your chance to find this thing. Now, I usually have to make this or buy it from a trader, the stun baton, the repulsor mod. So there we go, fun times. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at, let's take a look at this one here, modify. Now, the level 6 pipe baton only has 3 freaking slots. I don't understand that. But you can see the mods we could put in here, the weighted head, stuns and slows the victims. You can put a flaming shaft. Oh, you can't put the flaming shaft on that. That sucks. This one I never use, as I stated before. If you're below 50%, you're doing it wrong. Okay, and if you are, run away. It's nice to have that health gain, but run away, pop some food, gather your bearings, and go back at it, or just run. I like this one here for the degradation, but, we don't have room. And then what I have in here is the stamina. So I'd rather have the stamina boost than lower degradation because it's a freaking pipe. That's all you need to repair it. So I'm not worried about degradation there. Now we got the stun baton here. Let's modify that. As you can see, I got the repulsor mod in there. Install this mod into stun baton and send zombies flying on the charged hit. So it does take a while to charge it up, so it's not too OP. Rad remover, when you start getting the greenies, definitely put this in. You need it. Weighted head, of course, and then the stamina one. So those are the ones I rock. But as you can see, all these mods, including the rad remover, fit into there. Let's move on to the sledgy here. We can modify that. You can put the burning shaft mod in there. I highly recommend that for your Horde Knights. I don't usually carry sledgies with me. I carry the turrets with me with an intelligence build. But a flaming shaft mod in your sledgy, on Horde Night is fun. Cannot stress that enough. And then we've got the, let's put the weighted head in there. Oh, wait, you know what? Let me backtrack. Yeah, all these mods are available. You got the 10%. It's funny because you could put this in here, but I think that's because you can hold this. You can actually hold it in your hands and bop the zombies. I don't recommend it. There's better weapons than the sledgy. And also you can hold the robotic turret. I don't recommend it. It's too slow. Just drop it on the ground and get your baton out. And when the enemies are stun locked with the turret here, the robotic turret, then you just whack them. You know, that's the kind of strategy I take. So let's go into the robotic turret here. We'll modify that. As you can see down here, we have different weapons. Obviously, this is a kind of like a gun or something like that. You can put the drum magazine on if you are going to have it in your hand. Let's say, oh crap, I got to get a weapon out. Oh, well, let's say you land on this thing, right? Well, you can do the hip fire while moving. You can do the full auto. You can do the bipedal, the crippler. And rad remover, definitely want to put that in when you start seeing the greenies. And then, I don't know, the recoil one I don't think is really important. You know, you only got 4 choices here. So I would do the drum mag, the semi-auto maybe, the crippler, and the rad remover, you know, as an idea. So let's go ahead and put that one in. Let's go put that one in, and that one, and that one. There we go. I like it. So now, oh, this got over there. Now we have the robotic drone modify. You can put 2 or more cargo mods in here. I think you could put all 4. So if you're really going out there trying to go crazy, you know, you want that storage, you can do it. But there's 4 slots for a reason. We've got the morale booster, you've got the drone medical mod, and you've got the extra armor. Now, each one of these things, I think, I'm not sure how much storage this gives you, but I just toss it in. You know, it doesn't matter. I usually, what I'll do is I'll put the medical equipment in here because this drone medic mod, it will, I think, let's see here, field medic that automatically heals you as long as you have medical bandages or first aid kits are in its inventory. So when you install this, you no longer have to carry bandages or first aid kits on your body. So that's why I don't even bother. I mean, I'll put this in the drone cargo mod. I'll put it in there because I have the space for it. Might as well. And if you remember, yeah, you could toss a few items in there. You just got to remember to take them out. So it's this thing is really nice to have. Let me tell you, when you find one, definitely use it. And then this one here gives you 10% increased stamina reduction. I mean, come on. Why wouldn't you want to have a drone with you? This is awesome. You get automatically healed. You get a boost on your stamina. And the plating mod is helpful because zombies are jerks and they will spit at it and knock it out. I've lost them before. I'm lucky I found it too. All right, let's talk about the books. Not very much here, but first, candies. Shock AoE Radius 1.2. If you're doing a Horde Night or you're going into a POI, you know it's going to get messy, carry these with you for sure. I always forget to buy things like that. And then we have the Tech Planet. It improves robotics crafting skill. And then we have the Tech Junkie. Learn how to enhance robots. This is all for your batons and stuff here. I think now this is a magazine. I don't know where the batons are. I'll have to look again. But these are the books here. So we have learn how to enhance your robotics to be even more lethal. Robotic weapons do 10% more damage. And then we have, oh, here we go. Stun batons. Robots and stun batons degrade 20% slower. That's nice. Shred through them like butter with this high-tech ammo. Craft AP robotic turret ammo. So that's how you're able to do that. Here's the shells. I'm not too sure the difference, but I've never used the shells, to be honest. Here's the stun repulsor mod. This is how you're able to craft it. Wow, look at this one here. This technique gives you a 25% chance for regular and 50% chance for power attacks to do instant charge on the stun batons. That is huge. Now this one here increased the fire rate of robotic sledges by 5% and turrets by 10%. That's pretty nuts. I like that. So here's the Tech Junkie. When you finish all the books, you can bulk craft the ammo now. And bulk crafting saves you 20% on your resources so that, yeah, it's less mining, less resource collecting because it's lead and iron for that, I think. Okay, so under robotics here, it does include, it's the pipe baton, the sledgy, then the stun, robotic turret, then the drone. So this is all under the intelligence tree here. So yeah, I wasn't sure because robotics to me isn't batons. You know, that the pipe baton isn't robotic. So yeah, they're just throwing it in here. Makes sense, you know. All right, that covers that. Oh, I have an old thing there. It's not guns and books, just books now. So the armor, obviously a no-brainer. And you know what? I keep forgetting that we have the Treasure Hunters mod that you could put in your helmet, and also the Intellect mod. So all of the perks, the trees, have a mod. And what this does is it's when you get to the end and you're about to pick that 10th perk, you know, the 10th level, you don't have to. You can distribute those points, 3 points, somewhere else. So definitely rock the intelligence mod. So let's go ahead. Oh, I think I've got... Oh, yeah. So let's grab these. And we're going to modify this. And, yeah. So you cannot... Because an intellect is, I think, experience gains when you pick an intellect build. So you can't put a treasure hunter with an intellect, but you can do treasure hunter with all the other 4. You know, you can mix and match. So usually what I'll do is a cigar. I think you can do a cigar and strength. It doesn't conflict, I think. So I'll have to try that out, but you can mix and match the treasure hunter with other ones. So, but if, and the reason for that is because this already has an XP gain of 20%. So now you're going to get another 10. You know, it doesn't make sense to, you know, kind of. So I understand that completely. So let's go ahead and take a look at these here. The nerd goggles. Now, on Horde Nights, if you're wanting that experience, doesn't matter what build you're running, I would suggest, you know, wearing this. That's if you want the experience. 20% gain. Now it goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then it doubles to 20. Now, no matter what build you have, make the nerd outfit. And the reason for that is you get an extra skill point chance. And look at this. Tool and weapon degrade slower. So you get a full set. Nice. Now, let's go back to this. When you read a magazine, you can get an additional point. So you got 2% on that one. Or, oh, it's 5%. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 50. So this speeds up your progression to create really good ammo and, you know, even armor too. Oh, anything in the game that you pick up those magazines. So definitely you want to, I always craft this. It's in my motorcycle or my bike. It's in my inventory. No matter what, I have this with me. And you want to save all your books when you go through the POI. Save those magazines and read them after you put this armor on, and it really helps out. Trust me, it does make a big difference. And then we got intellect weapon damage 10 on up to 60. And then you got safe fall distance, which is kind of nice to have, 6. And you know what's nice about this is you don't have to perk into parkour right away, because that does help you, you know, not take damage. But this doesn't help you with the jumping though. So there you go. All right, let's deploy our little buddy here. So right click, left click, or is it right? No, right click, right click. There we go. And
startup sequence activated.
So if you get annoyed by this little talkie, you can shut her up, quiet mode. So you don't hear any drone noises, you don't hear any talking. Because it does get freaking annoying, let me tell you. So press and hold E again. You can pick it up. You can make it stay here. So I do this on Horde Nights. I make it stay nearby me. So if I get to take on some damage, I'll get auto healed. And then we've got the storage. We can put the first aid kits and the bandages in there. Notice how much storage you get. Very good. So I'm going to make her, because it's got a female voice, she's going to stay here. She's going to float around. I don't want her getting in my way. All right, let's modify our robotic sledge here. We'll put the, let's see, 50%. No. Yeah, we want that one. And let's see, decrease. We'll put that in. Might as well. That's no big deal. And then we're going to deploy it right here. Now, when you got the flaming crap on here, it's kind of hard to see. Normally what you do is you'll come up here with a ladder or something like that. But I'm in God mode to speed the process up. So we right click to place it. And you definitely want it, you don't want it too close. You want it far enough back. And that way the zombies can't damage it or whatever. So, and then if you have it too close, it might not hit the zombie. You know, just put it a little further back and you're good. All right, we're going to press and hold R. And we're going to load the robotic basic turret ammo in here. And notice how slow that is. And you can put this right here. It's kind of tricky. Well, you know, I'm kind of out of bounds here, I know. But, yeah, so let me get out of God mode here. That way I can not go out. And you can place this right here. Now, the issue here is I don't like to use these on Horde Night. So I just wanted to demonstrate that you can do this here. The reason for that is because the sledgie's going to do the work for us. And notice how it's disabled because I'm closer to the turret right now. All right, so now it's time. Notice I got 2 here. So let's go ahead and max our intellect. I took charismatic nature because I'm being a jerk. No, I'm kidding. I just went all the way down. I didn't care. So there we go. We've got that. And, you know, there's other perks of note here. I don't know if run and gun helps. I think it should help with the turret, you would think. I've never tried it with that. You want, for fortitude, you want to take pain tolerance, obviously. And then also iron gut and cardio. Take these, you know, as a kind of a tip here. You definitely want to take those. Under strength, obviously heavy armor. Motherload Miner 69er helps out, you know, gathering resources. Master Chef is nice, but I found that, you know, like 1 point is good because then you get the books, but and it does decrease the amount of food that you need, or ingredients you need. It's a really nice perk to take, but I found that, you know, you find so much crap in the world, it's usually not an issue. Nothing really under perception that you would need unless you want to start rocking different guns. You want to get the sniper. But if you're doing an intellect build, you're heavy. You know, you got the heavy armor, you got the stun baton. You're going to be going toe-to-toe. You're going to be loud. So really nothing here. I wouldn't bother with Treasure Hunter at all. Lucky Looter is not that great. Salvage Operations kind of nice because then you can build up your ammo, you know, your resources. So nothing really here. I mean, you can put a point in Salvage Operations and be done with this right here. But again, if you want to get into the Deadeye for the sniper rifle, that's the only reason I'd be perking into Perception. All right, let's get some zombs in here, man. Oh, Arlene, and oh, well, let's get some bikers in here too. Look at them all. Oh, now, one thing that I did is I took this block out right here, and it's kind of like you could get hit by cop spit, you know, the puke. So definitely be mindful of that. Now, let's take our nerd tats here. Yummy. Now, there's the sledgy in action. Watch this. So it's going to light them on fire. It's a chance to. Here comes a biker. Ragdolls them and everything. Oh, see, look at this thing going to work, man. Check it out. Oh, it's hitting the posts right there. That's what it's doing. So you want to put this out here more, you know. I'm going to pick this thing up. It's just making a racket. So look at this. With one sledgy. Now the horde, yes, they're running. And you're going to get a definite, you know, a large variety of zombies, different ones. But let me tell you, even with a horde knight and a sledge turret, this thing's a beast. Look at that, on fire. I love it. Not one zombie has gotten through. Now, one thing that I want to mention here while while Sledgy is busy, over here, this is 15 meters high. Oh, actually, I made it 16. I made it 16. And you'll notice that the zombies are not going into destroy anything mode. And that is by design. Let's get these idiots out of here. They're not coming. Look at now. Oh, also too, I have the zombies love ladders. Even if you have a ramp, they love ladders. So I put the ladders in, and it gives them options. You know, more options here. I mean, you could do maybe a wall of ladders, and they'll just keep climbing up them. It's crazy. But this is so much fun, I tell you. The most fun. The Intellect build is crazy fun. Let's have a little fun here. Let's drop down here. Bye-bye. Now, one thing I noticed about the baton is you know, you're going to take hits. That's why it's good to have the heavy armor on, you know. It does see how they're whacking me all the time. So you kind of have to do a stick and, you know, kind of a back pedal so they don't get a hit in on you. And that repulsor is, whoa, amazing. Oh, wow, I didn't get hurt. Safe fall damage, baby. Oh my god. What are you doing over here, buddy? Oh. He didn't even swing. I got cheap shotted. Now, one thing I don't like about the repulsor mod is that when you're going, you know, let's say you have one or two zombies. It gets flung all over the place, and then I'm chasing after it, you know. So it's great for groups, let me tell you. But when you go on, like, you know, like I said, one zombie, two zombies, and the zombie gets flung all the way over there, and I'm like, now I gotta go over and chase it down. And when you're doing a clear, you know, for a trader, it does suck because they get bounced off, and then you gotta chase them down because you gotta kill them. You know, you don't want them sitting there. But overall, the stun baton is freaking fun. I love it. And then couple the robotics with it. The nerd build or the Intellect build is really strong. But where you're weak is you don't have any fast rate of fire weapons. So you have to rely heavily on your robotic turrets. You have to. Then, you know, you can start to perk into other weapons eventually too. All right, well, that's all I got for you. Oh, another thing too I wanted to mention before I forget here is the spikes on the top. I used 49 spikes for this build here. That's your bird defense. Once you get shotgun turrets, definitely set them up. They're really fun to do. They chew through. Well, if you set them up and you point them up in the air, you want to make sure they don't hit the zombies. You want them hitting the birds in the air. And it goes through very minimal shotgun ammo. If you want to use turrets for your Horde Knights, feel free, but they do drink ammo, let me tell you. But with the nerd, you know, setup here, you'll have so much ammo. You want to set up as many turrets as possible, and that way you can get rid of it, you know, or you can sell it to traders, but they only buy so much. And the other thing too is I had a grip of 500 blocks. I used 346. I don't know why. Oh, you know why it's lower? I think because I broke this out a few times here. So, but yeah, this build is not that expensive. You can, well, obviously you do it in cobblestone when you first start out. So it's going to take you a minute to get the resources here. So just make sure you leave yourself enough time to build this particular one. Now, when you get dogs and stuff, you know, because I want to talk about the horde base a little bit here. avoid these 45s. I talked about this in my last TED Talk on, what was it, agility. Try to use these right here. And I'll show you, let me get the blocks here. First off, yeah, let me talk about, well, let's do these first here. So, well, the corner here, let me get that down there. This is a variable, where is it? Oh, wait, I got a mouse over it. This is a pole plate corner, and these are scaffolding ladders. So if you press and hold R, oh, wait, I gotta get that. There we go. Copy, shape, and rotation. Press tab. This is a scaffolding ladder. Just search for SCAF, S-C-A-F. It'll come up in your building menu. And then these right here, this is a wedge, and we'll get that rotation there. This is a wedge 60, and to complete the wedge, you have to have this one. Look at this guy trying to get to me. Let's go tab, and this is the wedge 60 tip. So let's shoot this guy here manually. Look how fast that is. You know what? If you're holding this thing manually, you definitely need that recoil on it, because, man, it boing. Anyway, so these, I'm going to experiment with these, but what I found is that the dogs, they don't, and the zombies too, they don't really like the 45, the ramps here. But I think the 60 grade would be better, but it's going to be a longer run. So I'm going to be experimenting with that in a playthrough hopefully soon. So yeah, so that's it. Ladder base, fall base. This is your dog stuff. You got your turret. You got your little pop out there for your turret. And then you got your little cage. The cop spit, it won't get to you with the scaffolding ladder. That's why I use it. Thanks to Mr. Reach for finding that. He's on YouTube. Go check him out. And this hole right here is just for hitting the zombies, because you're not going to have this robotic turret day one. So you do need to smack them with your baton and all that good stuff. So, all right. So that should do it. Hope you enjoyed. And definitely try out the Intellect build. It is so much fun. They've really done a good job with it, I think. It's just a riot, especially with the turrets. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace out.